Hi, my name is Atif and welcome to fourth part of Real Estate App Development series. In previous part, we had implemented login using email and password, and in this part, we will implement register user using email and password. Let's start. Open Android Studio. Right-click on Activities package. Click New Activity. Empty Views Activity. Type the name of activity, that is register email activity. This activity will be used to create user account using email and password. Make sure to choose language Kotlin and click finish. Now we need to show an option in login screen where user will click to open register email activity. We will show that option below the password input field. So let's create a text view with width and height wrap content, and ID will be no account TV. After that, instead of specifying a custom size to our text view, we will use style property. Style, we will use body medium style, which is part of material 3 theme. Now we need to set the text to this text view, and text will be no account register. Actually there is a mistake. You need to enter no account register instead of have account register. After that, we need to move the text view below the password input field using the ID, that is password TIL. To make a inner space from top and bottom, we will use property padding vertical, and padding will be 5 dp. Over to the text and click extract string resource to move our text to strings.xml file. Open strings.xml file. We need to make the word register bold. Open strings.xml file, and we will use HTML property used to make some string bold, which is named as B. Make sure to enclose the word register within starting and closing tag used for bold. Okay, our word register is now bold. After that, the next step is to add click listener on that text view to move to register email activity. Now open login email activity class to add click listener on it. Binding dot no account TV dot set on click listener. Start activity. Intent. This requires two parameters. First parameter is the context, and second parameter is the activity we want to start, that is register email activity. Now we can start designing register screen. Open activity register email.xml file, and let's do it by replacing constraint layout with relative layout. After that, to create a custom toolbar, we will add a relative layout. Width will be match parent, and height will be 160 dp, and ID will be toolbar relative layout, toolbar RL. Inside that, we will create a back button, image button. Height and width will be wrap content, and ID will be toolbar back button. After that, we will show an icon to that button, which is available in drawable folder with name back white. Okay, we forgot to add one thing, that is to set background of our toolbar, and toolbar background is available in drawable folder with name toolbar bg02. And now we will set transparent color as a background of this button using add Android color transparent. And to make it look more better, we will set padding 10 dp, and color of the button should be using Android tint question mark attribute color on primary, which will be changed according to the selected theme of user. Let's add a shapeable image view to show a profile image icon with width 70 dp and height 70 dp. and the ID of this shapeable image view will be ID profile image view. We need to show an icon in this image view which is available in drawable folder with name person black. Let's move the image in center horizontal of this relative layout, and we need to give margin from top and bottom. For that we will use property layout margin vertical with value of 15 dp. And to set background color of this image view, we will use question mark attribute color on primary, so it will be changed according to the current theme of the device. Use shape appearance overlay property to apply circle style to our image view, which is available in styles.xml class. After that, we need to add another text view to show a label. Text view width and height will be wrap content, and ID will be register label TV. Instead of specifying a custom size, we will use style property to apply a style, and style will be title medium, which is part of material 3 theme. After that, we will set our text to this text view. For example, create a new account. So now we need to move this text view below our profile image view using its ID, which is profile image view. We also need to move this text view to center horizontal of this relative layout, and color of this text view will be question mark attribute color on primary, so its color will be changed according to the applied theme on device. Our UI for toolbar is now completed. Now we will create another relative layout with width and height match parent. This relative layout will contain form including a register button, and we need to move this relative layout below our toolbar using the ID toolbar relative layout, and padding of this relative layout will be 10 dp. Our first input field is email, so let's add text input layout for that with width match parent and height wrap content, and ID of this text input layout will be email text input layout TIL, and we need to assign a style to this text input layout with the name outline box, which is part of material 3 theme. After that, we will give it a margin from top with value of 10 dp. Since user need to enter email in this input field, so the hint of this input field will be email. Now we need to assign corner radius to each edge of this text input layout. From top start 8 dp, from top end 8 dp, from bottom start 8 dp, and from bottom end 8 dp. So it will make each edge of our text input layout with rounded corners 8 dp. We will use start icon drawable property to show an email icon in start of text input layout, which is available in drawable folder with name email black. Now inside text input layout, we need to add an edit text with width match parent and height wrap content, and ID will be email edit text. Since user need to input email in this input field, so input type will be text email address. Now below this text input layout, we will create another text input layout to input user password. Text input layout, width will be match parent and height will be wrap content. And ID of this text input layout will be password text input layout. Same as we assigned a style to email input field, we will assign to password input field. And style is outline box, which is part of material 3 theme. Margin from top now will be 4 dp, and hint will be password since user need to enter password in this input field. After that, we will give corner radius to each edge of this text input field. corner radius for top start 8 dp, top end 8 dp, bottom start 8 dp, and from bottom end 8 dp. To show an icon in start of this text input layout, we will use start icon drawable property, and the icon is available in drawable folder with name log white. Let's enable toggle password enabled so user can click that icon to show and hide password. We also need to move this text input layout below the email input layout. Inside that text input layout, we need to add an edit text with width match parent and height wrap content, and ID will be password edit text. And since user need to enter password in this input field, so input type will be text password. We need to create another text input layout to input the confirm password. So instead of creating again, we will copy this, copy and paste below the password input layout. After pasting, we will change ID from password to C password. C password text input layout, and hint will be confirm password. And we need to move this text input layout below password text input layout. Also change ID of edit text to C password edit text. That's it. We need to create a text view below our confirm password input field. So user will click it to move to login screen. Width and height will be wrap content, and ID will be have account TV. We will apply a style to this text view with name body medium, which is part of material 3 theme. After that, we will move that text view below our confirm password input field using the ID of that input field, which is C password DIL, and margin from top will be 5 dp, and text of this text view will be have account login. So user will click that text view to go back to login screen. Now hover to the text and click extract string resource, and click OK. We have done this because we want to make our word login bold, same as we have done in login screen. We will use HTML tag used to make some string bold, same as we have done before. Make sure to enclose the login word in between bold tag. Now close strings.xml file, and to start registration process we will create a button, material button. Width will be match parent and height will be wrap content, and ID will be ID register button. Now we need to assign a text to this button, that is register. After that we need to give it a minimum height that we have defined in diamond folder with name button height. After that we need to show an icon in start of this button, which is available in drawable folder with name key white. Now we need to move this button in bottom of the screen using property layout align parent bottom with value of true. Now our UI part is now completed. Now open register email activity class to start implementing registration process. First of all, we will bind our activities layout file with this activity class. Private let init var binding, which is of type activity register email binding. We will initialize it in onCreate function before set content view. Binding equal to activity register email binding dot inflate. Inside that we will pass parameter layout inflator, and in set content view function instead of r dot layout dot we will pass parameter binding dot root. After that, we need to define a constant string tag, which will be used to show logs in logcat. Private value tag equal to register email tag. So whenever we need to display logs in logcat, we will use that tag name. To handle authentication related tasks like registration of user, we need to define FirebaseAuth, private let init var FirebaseAuth, which is of type FirebaseAuth, and initialize it in onCreate function. FirebaseAuth equal to FirebaseAuth.get instance. To show progress while registration process and saving user info, we need to create a progress dialog, private let init var progress dialog, which is of type progress dialog, and we will initialize it in onCreate function. Progress dialog equal to progress dialog, and this requires a parameter context, which is in activities case this. After that, we need to set title to our progress dialog, which is please wait. And to disable dismissing dialog when user click outside of progress dialog, we need to use a property with name set cancelled on touch outside, and we need to pass value of false. So when user click outside of progress dialog, it will not be dismissed. Now let's add on click listener on back click listener binding dot toolbar back button dot set on click listener. Inside that we need to call function finish. So when user click this button, it will move to previous activity. Now we also need to add click listener on have account TV binding dot have account TV dot set on click listener. Inside that we will also call finish function, so it will move to login screen. After that we will add the click listener on register button binding dot register button dot set on click listener. Before starting actual registration process, we need to validate user input data. For that we will create a separate function, private function validate data. We have made this function private since we don't need to access it outside of this class. We also need to call this function inside click listener of register button. To hold the user input, we will create variable private var email, which is of type string, and initially we will initialize this variable with empty string. Similarly, we will create variable for password and initialize it with empty string. Now create another variable for confirm password and name it as c password equal to empty string. Now come in validate data function and input user data. Email equal to binding dot email edit text dot to string dot trim. Trim function removes white spaces before and after the input. Password equal to binding dot password dot text dot to string. Similarly, we will input confirm password. C password equal to binding dot C password edit text dot to string. Did you notice we have not called dot trim function for password and C password because user will be able to include white spaces in password before and after this string. Now we are going to print our data to logcat using logd. This requires two parameters. First parameter is the tag that we have defined in class level. Second parameter is the message we want to show in logcat. I hope you know that we can include value of variable within string using dollar symbol. Now we will validate our data using if statement. First we will validate if pattern of entered email is valid or not. For that purpose we can use a built-in class with name patterns. We need to include not symbol in start, then patterns dot email address dot matcher and pass parameter email dot matches. This condition will be called if user has input the email with the wrong pattern. For example, he has not included @ symbol or .com. Email edit text dot error equal to invalid email pattern. This will set error to email input field. Now we need to move cursor for focus to email input field using finding dot email edit text dot request focus. Let's move to validate the password input field. So we will check if password is empty or not. Password dot is empty. In that case, we will show error in password input field. Binding dot password edit text dot error equal to enter password. We also need to call function request focus. Binding.password edit text dot request focus. So it will move our cursor to password input field. Now we will check if password and confirm password are equal or not. So password not equal to C password. This condition will be called if password and C password are different. In that case, we will set error to C confirm password input field. Binding.c password edit text dot error equal to password does not match. Binding.c password edit text dot request focus. Let's add an else statement, which means all input data is valid. In that case, we will start registration process. For that, we will create a separate function, private function register user. We have set this private because we don't need to access it outside of this class. And make sure to call this function in else statement. Now we will set message to progress dialog. Progress dialog dot set message, and message will be creating account. After that, we will show progress dialog. Progress dialog dot show. Now we can start creating account. FirebaseAuth dot create user with email and password. This requires two parameters. First parameter is the email, and second parameter is the password. Now we need to add success listener dot add on success listener. This function will be called if registration process is success, and dot add on failure listener. This function will be called if there is any issue while creating account. In that case, we will show exception in logcat using log.e, which requires three parameters. First parameter is the tag, second parameter is the message, third parameter is the exception. And we will also show message to user using toast. First parameter is context, second parameter is the message we want to show, and we will get actual message from exception using $e.message. We also need to dismiss progress dialog in that case. Progress dialog dot dismiss. Now come to on success listener. First of all, we will print a message to logcat using logd. The message can be register success. After that, we need to start saving user info in Firebase real-time database. For that, we will create a separate function, private function update user info, and call this function inside add on success listener. Now come again in update user info function. First of all, we will change the message of progress dialog. Progress dialog dot set message. Since we are saving user info, so message will be saving user info. After that, we will prepare the data we want to save in Firebase real-time database. Let's get the current timestamp. Value of timestamp equal to myutils dot timestamp. This function is available in myUtils class, which we have created in one of previous videos, which this function returns current timestamp of the device, which is of type long. We will use that timestamp to show when user has created the account. Now, let's get the email of registered user. Value registered user email equal to firebase.current_user.email. We also need to get the UID of registered user. Value registered user UID equal to FirebaseAuth.uid. We can directly get the UID from FirebaseAuth instead of FirebaseAuth.currentUser. We need to set up the data in form of key values. For that, we will use hashmap. Value hashmap equal to hashmap. The key will be of type string, and value can be of any type, so we will use word any. Let's put the data in hashmap. Hashmap. Our first data is UID equal to registered user UID that we have got above, and let's see what error is this. While initializing the hash map, we have defined that our value will not be null. So that's why this is showing an error. So what we will do is we will create an empty string, and inside that empty string we will concatenate the value of this variable using $sign. Registered user UID, and email will be registered user email that we have got above. Spellings of email are wrong, so let's correct it first. Make sure to type correct spellings for keys as I am using, and also the data type of values should be same as I have used. Now we will put timestamp in our data. The name of key will be timestamp equal to remove empty string. We will pass timestamp with data type long. That's why we have removed empty string. Now we will divide our phone number in two parts. First part is phone code, which will be empty, and second part is phone number, which will also be empty. After that, we will put DOB, which is date of birth, and the value of DOB will also be empty. Now pass user type. We have defined user types in our myUtils class as constants. Since we are creating account using email, so user type will be email. We have defined separate constant for each user type in myUtils class. Now our last key is token. Token means FCM token, which will be used to send push notifications. For now, the value of token will be empty. We will set it later. We have set up our data in hashmap. Now we will save it to real-time database. Value reference equal to firebase database dot get instance dot get reference. Inside that we will pass path, which is users, in which all users will be saved. So in users path there will be a child, that is value of registered user UID that we have got above. Now we will add function set value, and inside that we will pass parameter hashmap. Now we need to add success listener dot add on success listener. This function will be called if saving user data in real-time database is successfully done, and dot add on failure listener. This function will be called if there is any issue while saving data to Firebase real-time database. In that case, we will print the exception in logcat using log.e, and we will also show a message to user using toast myUtils.toast. First parameter is context, and second parameter is the message we want to show. We will get the message from exception parameter $e dot message. We also need to dismiss progress dialog. Progress dialog dot dismiss. Now jump to add on success listener. We will use log.d to print message on logcat that the data has been saved successfully. Let's pause messages info saved. After that we will dismiss progress dialog. Progress dialog dot dismiss. After that we will start main activity. start activity, intent. First parameter is the context and second parameter is the activity we want to start, that is main activity. After that, make sure to call function finish affinity. So it will clear activity backstack. So if you click back button in main activity, it will not move to previous activity. Now it's time to run our project. Copy the tag. So in logcat, only those logs will be printed that have been printed using this log. Now open logcat and paste the tag here. This might take some time to run your app in your device. Okay, the app is running now. Open real-time database in new tab. Authentication tab is already open. Click email button. Now click have account register. Okay, it's working fine. Now we will test back button, which is also working fine. Now click again have account register. Now we will click have account login to check if it's working fine or not. Okay, that's okay. Now again click have account register and first of all we will validate data to check if it's working fine. Click register button. It has shown error on email field because we have not entered any email. Now type wrong email format and click register button. For example, technifysoft.com, we have not entered add symbol. That's why this is showing error. Now put the add symbol. Now click register button. Since email format is now valid, so it will not show the error in email input field. Instead, it has shown error to password input field because it was empty. Now enter password and click register button and it has shown error to confirm password. Now enter password which is different than password. Click register. Since password and confirm password was not same, that's why it has shown error. Type same password and click register button. It will start registration process. Okay, the account is created and data is being shown in Firebase real-time database. And we can also see the logs in logcat. Now open FirebaseAuth, refresh the list, and the registered email is also showing in FirebaseAuth. Okay, enough for now. We will continue from here in next part. If there is an issue, you may ask in comments.